it's Maggie and Lisa again. We're back to talk on our podcast. I hope everyone's doing good. Today we're going to talk about our investigation at Reader Road. Reader Road is a well-known place in this area and known pretty much all over the country, right, Lisa? I'm pretty sure Reader Road's pretty popular.
Yeah,
right?
It's one of the most haunted places in the US. It has to be. If not, it needs to be added to the list.
Exactly, right? So we went to Reader Road, and this place is somewhere that's near us. It's another one of those places that we pass by all the time. And ever since I can remember, there were rumors about Reader Road, and there was a hitchhiking ghost there. Her name is Elizabeth Wilson. And the story goes with her is that she was waiting for her date or waiting for her boyfriend. Or she was driving there. I'm not sure exactly. Do you remember the story?
I think she was going to see her boyfriend. She got into a car accident. And then ever since then, people have witnessed her in the area asking for a ride. And then she disappears while she's in their car.
She asked to go to Ross Cemetery, and once the person who's driving her there gets to Ross Cemetery, she disappears. That's the story of Reader Road as far as that that like urban legend type thing. I know a lot of people have said they've seen her, so there can't be just a bunch of crazy people seeing these these apparitions and not be true.
So
another thing about Reader Road is that it used to be a spot that gangsters would drop their bodies at, because it is, as you can see in the video, it is a secluded area to where you can like drop off a body and probably no one will find you for weeks. So gangsters used to drop their bodies off there, and then it was a spot for some reason for suicides, but back in the 80s. So it's a pretty active spot, a lot of history there. We did go once, but it was more kind of a spur of the moment thing. We really didn't have any equipment or anything like that. It was when we were first beginning, and we didn't really get out and walk around the area. We kind of just, felt it out with our car and like see what we can see. But this time we got out, we walked the trails, we went in the woods, we like felt the energy there, and it was pretty awesome. We took our equipment there and we caught some really good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely did. It was more than I expected, Mags. I mean, at first, when we first got there, you turned on the spirit box and we heard something that mimicked a scream.
Yeah, spirit box never did that. From the first time that I got it, from when we used to use it, it never did that. And before even when it did that weird scream, I was trying to fix it because the volume was so low, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this is not malfunctioning on us. Mm-hmm. So I put it away for a little bit, and we were just kind of walking. I was like, let me see if it works again. And once I turned it back on, you can hear that like curdly scream. And that was the only time it did it. You can hear in the whole entire investigation, like it never did it again. It was just that one time. So and that was weird.
It was incredible evidence, because I've seen videos of paranormal investigators capturing screams on their EVPs. Like they would play it back and hear it. But ours was just right there, right in front of you. You could hear it with your own ears. We didn't have to replay an EVP recorder. It was just amazing.
Right through the spirit box. And you can, I don't know. It sounded just like a scream. Like it was loud in the beginning and then it kind of faded away. Like it was, you guys got to listen to it. Tell us what you think. I am going to turn on the spirit box to see if we catch anything.
Has it done it before?
That's one of the most eerie captures I think that we have caught. And that was just the beginning of our investigation, Maggie.
No, we just had gotten there and we were like, okay, which way do we want to go? And then we turn this thing on and boom. And we're like, okay, I guess that's going to start off our investigation.
Yes, and you could hear me gasp after just a few seconds because we've been paranormal investigating for probably a decade or so.
Yeah.
And we have never, well, I have never personally heard that. You said you have never. So it just amazed me right away. It just threw me off so bad.
It's completely unexpected because one, I mean, like you said, we've never heard anything like that. And two, I was expecting it to act up again because that's what it was doing. So when we heard that, we're like, oh my God, okay, this is going to be a good investigation.
Yes, and right before that, you had said, Maggie, that you thought you heard a scream.
Yeah.
And that just makes it so much more credible because you heard something with your own ears. It's something that I didn't hear. And then when you turn on that spirit box, all of a sudden, here comes this eerie, awkward, some noise that we never heard before that mimicked a scream. So that was incredible evidence that we caught. And then when we kept going on the investigation, we caught different voices. It sounded like intelligent voices that were telling us stop, don't leave, and things like that, that they just wanted us to stop what we were doing for some reason. And I had asked, are you trying to protect us from something here? It was amazing because Maggie and I asked so many different questions and some questions were being answered.
Is there something we should be afraid of?
And we were calling out to Elizabeth. On some of the clips, you could hear her say, what? It sounded like she was there, like we did feel her presence.
Elizabeth, are you here with us?
Yeah, and the thing about it too, Lise, is that we're expecting, almost anticipating a female response because of the legends that we've heard about, the stories and the witnesses that have seen Elizabeth. So we're expecting a female voice to come through. We're expecting, you know, Elizabeth to, I don't know, contact us or, you know, communicate with us. And we're getting male voices through our spirit box. And we're like, what? Wait a minute, this is not what we're expecting. And they were the ones that were telling us to stop, to leave, to, you know, do all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm still to this day wondering who was trying to contact us that day.
You don't sound like an Elizabeth. Who are you?
Come on in a little louder.
In one area, we were fascinated because on the Canon 90 that we had, the screen showed us, well, it looked like it was 666. That is the count of the camera, which is actually 999. That just means you exceed the maximum count. But what intrigued us was that it popped up around the same time we heard a growl. So that really intrigued us and fascinated us in that area.
Yeah, and it was weird that all of a sudden I see this thing, even though it is a set camera function or whatever it is. I seen that right at that moment, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? And it's kind of like I don't know, if you see a bright light, your eyes automatically go to it, and that's exactly what happened. I seen that and my eyes automatically went to it because you're hearing growls, we're getting these voices saying leave, you know, all this like danger stuff was coming up. So that was one of the, like, I don't know, signs, symbols, whatever the case is, that was just another one of those. So
yeah, at that time it just popped up, and a few seconds later we heard that growl. So that really intrigued us. And then another part, my Mel reader was acting up, but I'm thinking it might have just been my error because I wasn't holding the on button down as long as I should have. I found out you should actually hold it down for at least like 3 seconds and then it turns on. So I'm not sure if it was actually malfunctioning or if maybe it was on my end. But what's interesting is that we did use a device. We asked the spirits if they had something to do with it, and the lights didn't pop on. So I think it was just a human error.
Well, it's good to know that, like, some of the stuff that was malfunctioning, because we've had things malfunction on us before. And this, we thought this was just like another time, but it's good to know that, like, some things can be human error and not spirits.
Right. I mean, we're not here to make up things. That's not what Maggie and I are doing. We're honest people. We go out there and we show things and we try to debunk it. We also look to see if it was maybe an error on our side. But if you look at that, the whole video is just so amazing because we caught so many different voices. We caught sounds that weren't even picked up on the spirit box. You could actually hear on our regular camcorders. So yeah, it was amazing at Reader Road.
Yeah, if you go visit, you can feel the energy there. We're not exactly if it's Elizabeth or if it's, any restless spirits that, committed suicide, or, one of the poor souls that their bodies were dumped. We don't know who it is, but you can just feel the energy from that forest. And the thing about it is that Reader Road is a private road when you get further down. And then right next to it, there's a trail, a public trail. And people just walk through there and like do their exercise. And there's a lot of like nature around there and everything. All in the midst of all of these stories, all in the midst of these, these legends that, Al Capone dropped his bodies off right there by that trail. Someone committed suicide over there by those train tracks you just crossed. Elizabeth died right over there in that swamp that you see 2 feet away from you. It's crazy to think about that these people go with their families, go on these trails, and that's what's amidst this forest like area. It's kind of cool to think about, but I mean, if you're there by yourself, it's kind of creepy.
I agree. Yeah. And another amazing part is that we captured voices in the daylight. It didn't have to be at night. I know there's some people who believe things only happen at night, or they criticize in that sense where, oh, you only hear it at night. Why does it only happen at night? No. Check out our investigation. You'll see things happen in the daylight. So we investigate daylight. We investigate at night. We investigate in pitch dark. You can't even see the person in front of you. All we have are our equipments with the night vision camera. So Maggie and I mean, we go out there and, we just capture things all around the clock. It doesn't matter what time it is.
As long as we get to these locations, and if it's daytime, then it's daytime. We're going to do our investigation, check out beakers. Check out, we haven't mentioned this, but check out Senator Humphrey's house. It's like, the lights were on in that investigation. There was a couple people and there was a bunch of stuff going on. And then this one, we went around, I don't know, dusk time. The sun was going down eventually, but it was still light outside. Like, you can obviously see that, the sun's still out, and we're catching all of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, no matter what time of day, there's going to be energy.
We had the K2, as you can see in one of the clips, it was lighting up, and it excited me because when it started lighting up, we were asking different questions. And I felt that it was Elizabeth in that area that was around us. But when the K2 also was lighting up, there were a couple that, and you can hear Maggie, she said that there's some background noise, people are approaching, and I said, okay. And, we kept going with the investigation. And as they kept approaching us, the K2 started to go off more and more. It just started to light up as they got closer to us. So I'm not sure if those were actual people. I mean, what is your take on it, Max?
I mean, these people, when they approached us, they see that we have a camera. They see that there's like things in our hands. They see us just like, standing there. My REM pod was on the floor. And the male was like, oh, what's that? And I was a little hesitant to tell him because I didn't want to get into the whole spiel. Oh, this device detects a spirit, blah, 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 and he would have been like, what? But I was just like, oh, we're out here. We're doing a little investigation. This device, if you get close to it, it'll light up. That's pretty much all I said to him. And he's like, oh, okay. So he asked a couple more questions. The woman wasn't very as intrigued, I guess, as the male was. And they just, they seemed like they wanted to tell us a story, or he seemed like he wanted to tell us a story. But the woman just kind of kept walking and didn't want to talk. So, I don't know. I don't know if they were real people or not. The one thing I do have to say is that I don't know where they went. Like after they walked away, we walked the opposite way and they just kind of disappeared. I don't know where they went.
You know what's weird too about the couple? They were kind of like wondering, and they were acting like they were searching for some kind of plant. They told us, and it seemed like the male, I believe that was the husband, because I asked him if that was his wife, and then that's when she started interacting with us a little more, but then she pulled back when I had asked if they wanted to be recorded. But the male, he was like entertaining us, like he just seems so interested, and like he really wants me on camera. But of course his wife was like, no, I don't think so. And who knows?
You can tell that he wanted to be on camera. He wanted to tell that story, whatever the story was. I'm kind of still like interested. Like, what was he gonna tell us about the place? Yeah, unfortunately, there's just some people that don't want to be involved in any of that stuff. So,
and that's why I love doing this, because we're not afraid to go out and investigate. We don't care what people say. There's a lot of people out there who are interested in the paranormal because they experience them themselves, and unfortunately they're afraid to come out because they're criticized, they're called crazy, so that's another reason we're doing it, because we're here with you guys. We don't think you're crazy. We know things are going on in this world that are unexplainable, and unfortunately we couldn't get them on camera. But I'm sure if the husband was by himself, I'm sure he would have went for it.
I'm sure he would have told us that story. I'm still a little intrigued. Maybe one day he'll see this video. If you see this video, Mr. Guy, tell us that story. Send us an email.
Yes. We won't tell your wife, I promise.
Tell her.
It'll be anonymous. But yeah, he said that, he's seen things there. Didn't he say we seen things?
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, and then kind of brushed it off.
Mm-hmm. And they just kept walking, looking at the grass, looking at the trees, like they're in La La Land. And I mean, if you're real people, I don't take that offensively. That's just my take on it. So yeah, they just kept walking away. When we started walking the other way, we turned around and we didn't see them. But that was interesting though. Yeah, like the K2 was going off while they were passing us.
So I don't
know. Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, I'm so happy that we caught what we caught. And I hate to brag, but I mean, I never heard that scream on a spirit box like that, in that area. So I'm pretty happy that we caught that.
Yeah, it was kind of like the right time to like, I'm like, let me see what I can get on the ghost box, and bam, there it was. And yeah, I do remember like right before that, I was like, I thought I heard a scream, but you didn't hear it, but it was like a faint, like coming from the forest type scream.
I
And
was
I
just
just,
excited to be out there. I'm not sure.
yeah, I just chalked it
know.
up as being like maybe an animal or something. I don't know. And then that happened. So I was like, okay, maybe I did hear what I heard.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, guys, check out that video. You won't be disappointed. And hey, if you guys have your own little clips or something you want to share with us, send it to our email. We'll be happy to look it over and conversate with you.
Something new we want to do is like if you want to send us your clips or videos or anything, then we would love to discuss it with you. It'd be an awesome way to interact with you guys. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos. If you want, give the notification bell a tap. That way you won't miss a video that we have up. So till next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye. Happy ghost hunting.